Welcome back. The New Mexico CASA Association is a nonprofit organization that develops and supports local programs throughout New Mexico that provide quality volunteer advocacy in court for children who are abused and neglected. Here to tell us more about all of the work they do and how you can help is Director of New Mexico CASA Association, Veronica Montaño-Pilch, as well as CASA volunteer Dana Squires. Ladies, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. Tell us what CASA is for people at home who may not know.
Well, CASA is court-appointed special advocates, and we're allowed to do what we do because it's a court rule. And when I say we're allowed, volunteers, everyday people like you could be a volunteer. And what it is that a volunteer finds out everything about a kid who's in CYFD custody, children, youth, and families, who's a child who's been abused and neglected. And that one volunteer follows at least one child and finds out all of the things. What does that child need? How can the volunteer help CYFD get some of the things the child needs? So it's a way for the community to give back. And what's so important now in looking at after COVID and volunteerism is that as a community, we need to step up. New Mexico's not that big. There's about 2,000 kids in CYFD custody, and right now we only have about 500 volunteers statewide. So we need to step up as a community, because I know that people in New Mexico have big hearts and be able to say, I can do that, because you can do that. And a judge will empower you with a court order, which is similar to like a subpoena, for you to go around and help and figure out what that child needs. And Dana's one of our volunteers in Sandoval County. There's 13 programs in the state.
Dana, talk to me a little bit about what it is that you do exactly. I mean, you just mentioned that you kind of follow a child, make sure that they're getting exactly what they need. What does that mean?
I get to know the child, what the child wants, and I advocate to the court what is in the best interest of that child, whether it's reunification, adoption, and there are some other options as well. But I get to know the child, the foster parents. I have access to therapist reports, medical reports, teachers, counselors, because of that court order from the judge. So I really get to know the child and understand what is in their best interest. And
what is it like working with these kids firsthand? I mean, most of them are coming from really sad, hard situations that no child should ever be subjected to. So what's it like when, someone like you comes in and are really advocating for them and working for the best possible scenario for them?
I think in terms of my experience, it is giving that child a chance to succeed in life is basically what it is, because some of them come from horrific situations, and these are all children. They're they're sweet, innocent children that are victims of circumstances they have no control over. And every child deserves to have an opportunity and to have a family that loves them.
Who can become a CASA?
You just have to be at least 21 years old. You have to pass a background check. You go through 30 hours of training, and then each CASA program, I mentioned there are 13 in the state, they support you through that process. And it's the idea of giving back and how much it means to you, and Dana mentioned that a little bit on becoming a CASA and working with all of the other players in child welfare, the foster parents who are amazing and giving a home to a child, CYFD who works to make sure all of the legal things are there, all of the therapist appointments are being met. The CASA can come in and find out other things like, oh, gee, you don't have a backpack. Oh, gee, you need some clothes because the state only gave you $200 this month. How can I help you? My neighbor has hand-me-downs. Can I get that for you? So it's about the community really coming together and figuring out. And as a CASA, you could be that conduit to make sure not only that the child, that the foster parents, the bio parents, that people are getting what they need in order to be successful.
It takes a village, right?
It takes a village.
Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. For a full recap and information on how to apply to become a CASA, you can head to our website, alwaysonkrqe.com.